Yeah, this is how gaslighting works. Gaslighting can make you really question your own fucking sanity. You can know something for sure, but then have this uncertainty about things all because someone is really like telling you something that you think may be true because of how they word it and how they're trying to position it as if you are in the wrong. And it makes you question yourself like, okay, am I wrong? Am I crazy? You know, somewhere in me, I knew what the truth was. I knew that this shouldn't have been going on and that he was lying. But it's like hearing him say one thing made me question what I knew was right. All of this love is toxic. All these kisses and hugs and not shit. You a damn drug, you toxic. So I remember when I first seen his phone just laying there. And I remember thinking, I don't want to go through his phone. But I remember seeing the perfect opportunity. And it was just laying there. He was asleep. It was late. And I had got up to go use the restroom. And so on the way to the restroom, he had made a mistake and left his phone on like a hallway shelf that's by the bathroom. And so I seen it. And my heart started beating fast. I got these like knots in my stomach. I'm like, here's your chance to really see if he's done with his ex or not. And I'm like, let me go and get it. So I grabbed it and I grabbed my phone. And because if I found something, I wanted to text the person from my phone. So I grabbed them both, ran in the bathroom, and act like I was using it still. And I started looking through it. And the whole time, I'm like shaking because I'm like, I want to find something, but then I don't want to find something. I'm nervous to find something, but then I want to find something to be like, I got you. I knew it. And I don't know what I was going to do with that information, but I wanted to find something. Just to ease my mind. Because something I remember my dad telling me a long time ago was that there's nothing like having a peace of mind. And he was saying this in reference to what he was doing to my mom, so to speak. So, just quick backstory on that. And right, he told me that my dad was insecure. He always believed my mom was always cheating, no matter what. And when she tried to go out and look good for work, you cheating on me. When she brought home something from work that she didn't leave with, oh, a man must have gave it to you. You cheating on me. It was always something. He never trusted her, basically. And no matter what she did, he just didn't. And so he had started recording her calls. And once before, I guess how he recorded it, the recorder where he had it at, was in like a cabinet drawer in my room. I was in the room I was in. I don't know what was particular about it, but I remember him one day banging on the door trying to get to it. And he thought that I had the door locked because I was messing around with it. He was so suspicious of me in that point in time too. In that moment too. He was always just a suspicious type of person with like no trust whatsoever, always on the fence. And so I was just in there trying to get dressed because I just came out the bathroom to shower or whatever. And I'm like, no, Dad, you can't come in. I just came out. But he thought I was messing with that. As soon as I opened it, finally, he came, busted in, went straight to it, and I seen him messing around with the tape. He would ask to borrow, like my little Walkman. Back in the day, I had a black and yellow Walkman. He would ask to borrow it so that he can play the tapes. And even at a young age, I was like maybe 7 watching this go on. I knew something wasn't right about that. And I knew that he was listening to the calls because one day he came home and me and my sister got in trouble for playing on the phone. And in my little 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 8-year-old head, I'm like, how would he know that? And I just started putting 2 and 2 together. And then one day he told me after the incident of him banging on the door to get in to check the tapes and stuff and all of that, and asking to use my cassette player and all of that, he was telling me, always check stuff out so you can have peace of mind for yourself. Here I am, a young kid, and I'm like, why is he telling me this? And as I got older, he would tell me more and more bad things about my mom as if she was like the culprit. And even if she was cheating, that's not something you go and confide into your child about. And so a lot of my conditioning came from watching their relationship, my mom and dad's marriage and relationship. And so me being in something similar made me think back to what he told me about having a peace of mind. Now remember, this was back then. This was before I am now, how I learned what all this is and what it means. So I used that theory to grab the phone and go through it because I was, contemplating if I should or not. So I used that theory that I remember him telling me, and I went through it. And so at first I didn't find anything. So then I found an unread message. I opened it. It was a long message thread between him and somebody else that appeared to be a woman. The number was unidentified. It was not programmed in the phone. It was just the number. So I'm like, okay, bet. I seen the last text that was sent said something like, I'm buying you a new outfit for the car show. And I'm just like, I know ain't no man buying him a new outfit. So I'm like, okay, let me text this bitch and see who she is. What's going on with this? And it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. I didn't give a damn. I'm like, she gonna wake up and talk to me. She gonna answer this text. Because she had just sent that one like 30 minutes prior. And it was unread. And I read it. So I'm like, oh yeah, she probably up waiting for his text back. I'm finna go on text her and be like, what's up? So I didn't want to text from his phone. Because I wanted to get answers. And I didn't want him to know that I went through his phone. So what I did was I got the number out his phone, went in my phone, texted, and was like, who is this? Waited, anticipated, nervous, and she finally responded, you text my phone, who is this? And so I'm like, I found your number in my man phone. In bold, I was like, you tell me who is this? Like, who are you? I said something like that to her. And then she got kind of snippy and smart with me. It was like, oh, you must be Kindall. What me and John got going on has nothing to do with you. That had me heated. That had me so heated. That has nothing to do with me. I'm like, he's my man, got everything to do with me. And so I don't remember what I said after that. I don't think I said much else. I was just like, fuck this shit. And so I got out the bathroom, put his phone back in the hallway where I found it on the shelf. Went back to the room where he was still asleep. I said, okay, I'm gonna play this off. I'm gonna try to play this off. He gonna tell me the truth. I'm gonna play this off. And so I didn't say anything. I just got back in bed and I was just kind of laying there. I probably didn't realize I was staring at him, but I was. And then he kind of woke up and was like, hey, babe, what's up? And I'm just like, nothing, And then I jumped right in it because I couldn't help it. I was like, so that car show coming up, I want to go to it. You want to go to it? And he kind of woke up a little bit more and kind of stuttering, like, what car show? I think I know what you're talking about. He was like, I don't think I wasn't going to go. Why you want to go? Why you talking about that all of a sudden? And I'm like, I'm just asking, do you want to go? I don't think I'm going to go. And so then I started getting nervous and my anxious started sitting because I'm like, he going to go with that bitch. He going to lie to me so he can go with her. And I'm like, I ain't having that. And so I couldn't hold it. I was like, so maybe you plan on going with someone else to the car show? And he hair raised up. He was like, going with somebody else? What you talking about? You talking crazy. What you talking about? Then he started looking around for his phone. It's like he knew some evidence was in that phone. And maybe I had seen it, but I wasn't going to tell him I seen it. And so he started searching for his phone, looking for it. And I'm just like, what you looking for? He's like, my phone. You got it? I'm like, no, I don't got it. I'm just sitting there chilling like, he lying to me. And so he looking around for it. He can't find it. And I'm just like, so what's this about this car show? You going with somebody else? Who is this person you going with? So I started kind of, about to lose it. Like, fuck it. I'm going to just go all in. Man, what you talking about? I said, so you don't think you going with maybe your ex? Man, what the fuck are you talking about? Then it started going off. Like, acting like I'm the crazy one. Like, I was in the wrong. Like, I didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm just like... And I think I eventually admitted I went through his phone. He went and grabbed his phone. He eventually found where he left it. And he started looking through it, just frowning up, squinting at it in the dark because he couldn't hardly see. And, you know, he just woke up and he just looking at it. I can remember him looking all in it, all intently, just like, what's in it? Like, and then he finally saw it. And I'm thinking to myself, she probably done texted him and said, yo, girl texted me, whoever she was. I'm thinking it's the ex. And so he started going off, getting mad at me and stuff. And I was like, why don't you just tell me? I thought you was over your ex. It don't seem like it is to me. It seems like you still talking to her. I'm just, you know, spitting the facts at this point. At least I feel like I'm spitting the facts. And so he just like, bang, going on with all that. If you gonna do all that, you can leave. Get up out of here and leave. So I'm just mad. I'm furious. But when I'm furious, I don't fight, argue, and try to fight back usually. I just like, nope, I'm not going there. I put my shoes on. I'm just like, I ain't saying a word. Put my stuff on, put my shoes on, like, fuck this shit. You want to lie to me? Okay, bet. So I start grabbing my purse, put my shoes, and I'm just walking out. And he hear up on my heels. He hear up and ran out the door behind me. He didn't even put on his shoes. And he just like, oh, so you finna go? You finna go? Yeah. Well, no, I didn't say anything. He just right behind me. That's right, I didn't say anything. I was just quiet the whole time. So I'm like, I'm mad. I'm trying to hold back tears. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm upset. He's still messing around with his ex. He told me he was done. He told me he was done. And I remember we at first said, I love you. And that we were going to be in the relationship. And, you know, the ex chasing us through the city before, the neighborhood before. And all of that was still playing in my mind. So I'm thinking like, okay, if we together, she got to be gone for good. So that's why I checked the phone. So like, she got to be gone for good. We're going to be together for real. Because I had been understanding long enough. She got to be gone. And that let me know she wasn't gone. And so seeing that was just like, I thought we was going to be, you know, for real. I thought, you know, he was going to leave this bitch alone. I was just thinking all this in my head. So I just ran out to my car. And he ended up hopping in before I can pull off. And just like, listen to me. And then he started begging, pleading, no, you know what? Okay, it ain't her. I ain't messing with her. It ain't her. And I'm like, then who is it? What is it? Who is this? And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna admit, it's this chick whose son hair I cut around the corner from me. Cause you know he was a licensed barber. He cut hair. It's this lady's son, man. But the bitch ain't nobody. She got blue hair, a bunch of tattoos, ghetto as hell. I don't want her, but she be acting like she like me and this and that. She was talking about that. I didn't. Something. Now I don't remember what the other text messages said in that thread, but I remember it wasn't the whole thread. Like he had probably deleted it from before, and it was just like a short thread, so I couldn't really tell by that evidence. So. And he told me that, and I'm like, so you got a whole new bitch? I'm like, this is too much. And I started crying, like, this is too much. Like, you got rid of your ex, and now you got a whole new one. And I'm just like, this is too much. He was like, no, babe, I promise you, I want you. I don't want her like that. It's just this and that. I'm like, I'm sitting there just crying. I'm just like, I can't believe this. It's somebody else. And I'm just so confused at this point. Because I'm like, man, we was supposed to be together for real. And so then, as I'm sitting there, I get a text on my phone. My phone lights up, and it's a text. And in the text, it said, stop playing on my phone and don't send me any more Facebook messages either. And the part about that is so enlightening is because I have, never met this ghetto blue-haired chick that he's talking about. I've never met her. So, of course, I hadn't messaged her on Facebook. I had not talked to her. I don't know her. Never met her. Never seen her. This was the first time he brought her up. So I'm like, I'm reading it and I start shaking again. I'm like, he lying. On top of lying. And I'm just shaking my head to myself like, this is his ex. Because that's who I was messaging. I messaged his ex on Facebook. And the reason why is because as soon as me and John made it official, I did a search on her on Facebook again and seen that she had a picture of him and her together. Or no, she had a picture of just him on there or something like that. And I'm like, no, she ain't. This got to come down. And of course, that's not my job to do. It should be the guy I'm seeing. But, yeah. Y'all know how that go for crazy ass dating stories. And when you don't know your worth. So I messaged her on there about him and I, and how she leave him alone, and he don't want her, da 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 da. We messaged back and forth, and I said, you know, this and that. And so for her to say that in that message, I knew for a fact it was her. But y'all, this is how gaslighting works. Gaslighting can make you really question your own fucking sanity. You can know something for sure, but then have this uncertainty about things, all because someone is really like telling you something that you think may be true because of how they word it and how they're trying to position it as if you are in the wrong. And it makes you question yourself like, okay, am I wrong? Am I crazy? So I knew it was her. But he twisted it around. He was like, okay. He couldn't lie. But he was like, okay, so it is her. But baby, I promise I don't want her. I ain't studying her. She just crazy. And in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, so why does she have your number? I did ask him. I'm like, but why is she even having your number? Why is she even communicating with you? Why are you all talking? You know, somewhere in me, I knew what the truth was. I knew that this shouldn't have been going on and that he was lying. But it's like hearing him say one thing made me question what I knew was right. And that's gaslighting for you. And so he was like, I promise I want you only. She ain't nobody. Then he went on to explain why she sent that message. Y'all, he was like, we were supposed to go to a car show like years before he met me, like when they were dating. We were supposed to go to a car show, I think he said last year. And he was like, but I ended up not going, and she took somebody else. And what else he said? She took somebody else instead of me, and I guess he got mad about that. So so she trying to make it up to me this year. She just trying to win me back. So she said she would get me an outfit. And he said the reason why she gave me an outfit is because she came over the other day and took all my clothes that she bought me back. She grabbed them all out the closet and and took them. And like, so she trying to win me back, and she's trying to buy me an outfit and take me to this car show that she's supposed to take me to but didn't. And so in my head, I'm just thinking like, okay, I see why that this is happening. But I'm also, in my intuition is like, but it shouldn't fucking be happening. This should not be an issue. But it's like, I'm trying to go with his logic because I'm like, maybe he just really is having a hard time leaving this girl alone because of how he's making it seem, because of how he's positioning it. And so I'm like, okay, but you know, you just gotta really leave her alone and this and that. And he was like, we can go to the car show together. I ain't going with her, forget that. And he was like, we'll just go together. I won't send us to it. We done. I promise, we done. And when he was saying all that, it made me think back to a previous time that I had came over his house one morning before we went to work, because we still work together, and sometimes we ride to work together so we can spend time with each other after work. And so I came over to his house, met him up before we went to work, and I seen a t-shirt hanging in his back window. And if you remember from one of my previous seasons, one of my previous episodes, I was like, you know, when we were in the back seat doing it, he put the t-shirts up so nobody would see us. And so automatically when I pulled up and I seen that t-shirt in the back window, I knew. So I put that previous time with the current time he was telling me. I put those two times together, and I'm like, that was probably the day she was over here. And he decided to have sex with her, and they argue or whatever. I bet it was the same day, because I questioned him, you know, why is this shirt in the back of your window? I knew the answer, but I just wanted to see what he could say. And he was stuttered and was like, I wanted the car to be cool when I came out here to work on it in the morning. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I took it and believed it. Even though a part of me was like, I feel like he had his ex in the back seat with him, like he did me. And him moving back to currently what I'm talking about, and finding out that, you know, it was her in his phone. And he was telling me that she came and, you know, grabbed all the clothes up that day. I put two and two together, and I realized, okay, that probably was after I messaged her on Facebook saying we together, leave him alone and all that. She probably got real pissed because he probably had been lying to her too. And so for me to come out and say that, she's like, oh, so you got her, you with her now? And so I feel like that's what caused her to do that. Because I put like a monkey wrench in the shit and was like, nah. Because he probably was lying to her. And of course he was lying to me. He was lying to both of us probably. So I don't know what he was telling her. But yeah. And so he's sitting there telling me all this, explaining. We'll go to the car show together. I won't go with her. Baby, I promise we're done. And so I'm like, okay. And so while he's sitting there talking, I was just like, let me text her one last time. And I was like, that's why I'm with him right now. I just wanted to be petty. And I got sucked into this petty shit. And so I'm like, text her that. And then she heard him text me back and was like, you lying, I'm with him right now. And I just laughed. Because I'm like, and it almost like a sense of calmness, I guess, came over me. I started to calm down a little bit. I started not to be so anxious. I'm like, okay, maybe she really is just crazy. Maybe he telling the truth. Because how she gonna lie and say she with him right now, and I'm clearly right here with him right now. So that was kind of like me thinking, okay, he may be telling the truth. And I felt a little better. The little anxiousness in my stomach started to go away. So I kind of laughed to myself in between the tears and was like showing him, and I showed him the phone, like, look, she just texted me. And he just kind of laughed and kind of smiled at me like, baby, I told you, she just crazy and this and that. And he even showed me some text in his phone to show proof, like, look, you see what she's saying? All these are her talking about, I want to be back with you. All these are talking about, like, I just trying to find the path back to your heart. He was showing me all these messages from her, like, pretty much begging and stuff. And I was just thinking in my head, okay, she is crazy. She just can't leave him alone. She really just want to be with him, and he don't want to be with her. All the logic of why y'all still talking anyway. Why does she have your number? Why is she not blocked? Why, all the logic kind of went out the window, and it all went to, okay, she's just crazy because of how he said it and the little messages I sent. So, yeah, that's what I decided to go with. And we did end up going to the car show together. But he was like, it's hard for me to get my own place because I'm an ex-felon and I got a record. And sometimes they check the record and I may need a co-signer. I was nervous about that. Like, I don't think I want to do that.